So continuing from last time, Legend of Kay for the PS2 is an action-adventure platformer in which you play a spunky ginger Tom named Kay. At the beginning of the story, the world is in conflict because rats and gorillas are going around on a tyrannical quest for power. A righteous young feline named Su Ling asks Kay to come with her to try and revive the Way, a law which the people of the land used to live by. He refuses, and she leaves, telling him to come and find her when he grows a pair of balls. While training with his drunken master, some gorillas come along and close down his kung fu school because it's seen as threatening. The cat village's idiot mayor Wu Bai, who has already given the rats and gorillas all the village's weapons, agrees to the closure, leaving Kay's master out of a job. His master doesn't really seem bothered by this, which annoys Kay even more, causing him to sneak into his master's house and steal his sweet-ass sword in order to go on a quest to find Tak the rat leader and have a little chat with him about reopening his school. What follows is a journey that takes you to gorges, rivers, dragon caves, swamps, cities, etc, etc. I'll be honest, I got bored of the story pretty early on. Nothing thrilling really happens, it's just fighting a certain amount of dudes or collecting a certain amount of shit in order to progress to the next area. You can't go back either, so if you didn't pick up some useful item, you ain't going back for it. On top of that, the voice acting is really over the top and ranges from the annoying to the fucking ear-splitting. The sound doesn't match the mouth movements either, although you get used to that quite quickly, and some of the accents are bordering on racist. I'll say one thing though, it's not horribly written. Kay puts out a decent quip every once in a while, and the humour definitely suits the cartoony art style. Though, saying that, he still isn't brilliantly voice acted, I guess because they presumably use a child actor, but I've heard worse in a video game enough times not to mind too much. In order to move through the game, you have to run, jump, swing, swim, wall jump, hack and slash your way through obstacles and enemies. You're not restricted to just fighting though. If you don't want to be a warrior, the game offers alternative careers such as pest control or gardening. I wouldn't trust Kay to give me a haircut though, I'll tell you that. You can also throw bombs, ride animals and sail boats. There are mandatory races as well as optional side quests. One involves riding a dragon, which is pretty fun, and another entails riding a wolf through a maze full of spiders. The animal you're riding needs constant feeding with its food of choice in order to get between the checkpoints, and eating chili peppers gives you a burst of speed, presumably due to some sort of fart propulsion. Kay controls relatively well, but there are a few problems, like going through ropes while swinging and glitching through walls. I had a harder time fighting the camera than I did the actual enemies. There are a lot of circular rooms in this game, and not being able to see where I was going half the time made platforming a right pain in the dick. Not only that, but often when I overcame the crappy camera and went out of my way to explore, the game didn't really reward me for it. The environments often have very little happening in them, and moving from one place to another can become boring. On the plus side, the combat seems to have had a lot of thought put into it. You can roll into enemies to deal high damage, build up a combo meter to make intense fights manageable, and add a bit of style by rolling behind an enemy and then throwing them into the air. You also have a primary, secondary, and later a tertiary weapon, each more effective against a different type of enemy or in a particular circumstance. Special upgrades can be found for these during the game, but if you leave an area without finding that upgrade, you can't go back for it and have to progress without it. In all fairness, the game did look pretty promising when I started out, but as I went on, I just became bored. It's a shame because it's a good idea that they should have done more with. I know that's a lot to ask for a children's video game, but you've seen how high my standards are. I give Legend of Kay a 43 for enjoyment. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad game, it's just that I didn't like it. Sorry if you loved this game as a kid, but it just didn't do it for me. I already explained that the story is and all that, so motivation-wise, it's not brilliant. Would I play the game again? Okay, let me sum up my answer, nay, my entire experience, by recounting something that happened very early on in the game. The first boss fight is with Borax, a giant boar. The fight was easy as hell, all I had to do was roll out of the way a few times and land the occasional hit. Once the pig's health got down to half, he just got up and fucked off, leaving me locked out of the village. After 10 minutes of me running around like an idiot trying to find my way back in, my sister looked it up online. Apparently what I was supposed to do was fight Borax and lose, thus causing the people behind the gates to shout, "Kay's injured, get him inside, lads!" What a load of bullshit! You can't punish me for not sucking at the game, that's not how it's supposed to work. If you want Kay to get injured, do it in a fucking cutscene. If a game's gonna waste my time like that, I don't understand why I should even continue. I'm certainly not picking this one up again anytime soon, but for those of you who don't mind being dicked around, I invite you to give this game a try. If you're just in it for a game about a smart-mouthed cat warrior fighting gorillas in an oriental setting, this is probably your game. As for me, I'm gonna go and play something else.
Oh, I better get home right away! It's so kind of you to help me. If you need anything, maybe you could have a look in my storehouse.
Hey, you got me bananas. Yummy ripe bananas.
What? Borax! Quickly! Close gate! Could destroy whole village!
But I don't need no protection from my chickens.
Maybe they're lying bastards. Ever consider that?
Hey! He follows me! He follows me!
Guess you want dragon statue, huh, pussycat?
That's right, I'm just a harmless kitten. Garbage mouth. Wanna roll around and play with me? Meow.
Whoever you be, Goldilocks, you ought to know what come next. The 3 bears plus 1!